I don't think it should be called Red 40. It should be called crude oil. That's what Red 40 is.
Is RFK Jr. going to cancel or eliminate Twinkies being sold in the United States of America? Hello and welcome to the Doge and Maha News Channel. My name is Chris. Today we're going to focus on making America healthy again. And today we're going to watch an interview that Calley Means, the co-author of the book Good Energy, has on Fox News. And they are talking about the Twinkies owner and what he says about snack foods as well as some other stuff. So let's get into it. It's always a great conversation when Calley Means is involved.
Well, as Trump and RFK Jr. are ready for a crackdown on ultra-processed foods, the maker of Twinkies doesn't appear too concerned. Their CEO saying, quote, "We believe very strongly that snacking continues. Consumers are going to continue to look for a way to reward themselves at different times throughout the day," and only acknowledges they could, quote, "look at reducing sugar." Co-founder of True Med and the co-author of Good Energy, Calley Means, joins us now. Welcome.
Well, first of all, before we get into what Calley Means thinks about this, I mean, of course, Americans are going to continue to snack. Of course, we want to reward ourselves. That is definitely not going away. However, I mean, could Twinkies be made less toxic? Yeah, they probably could. They could probably replace some of their chemicals that are banned in other countries, replace those with more natural ingredients. Yes, the cost is going to go up, but like you said, people are going to continue to snack, and Twinkies could be one of the options that they choose, especially if they are, quote, more of a healthy option. But once again, you know, RFK Jr. is not about to ban choice. He's probably hopefully gonna ban chemicals that are banned in other countries. Hopefully he'll ban those chemicals that are in our food that are not allowed to exist in foods in other countries, and clean up our food supply, clean up our food system overall. But he's not about to ban options, right? Americans can continue to choose what they want to eat, what they want to put in their bodies. However, when our food is contaminated with all of these chemicals that are banned in other countries, that's something that should definitely be looked at. And instead of getting the Twinkies that are filled with all the chemicals that are for the U.S. market, we should be getting the Twinkies that don't have those chemicals that they make for other markets like Canada and the UK and overseas.
Calley, so
Rachel.
much of what you've been fighting for looks like it's about to happen. You say that we are on the verge of entering into a golden age for American health. I want you to look at the ingredients that are concerning about Twinkies, and then tell me what you think. So it's high fructose corn syrup, yellow 5 dye, and red 40 dye. Why should we be concerned?
So I've done separate videos on both the high fructose corn syrup and the yellow 5 dye. Go ahead and check out my playlist for Making America Healthy Again if you want to see those separate videos, but there's a lot of good information there. I'm learning a lot as we go through this process as well.
About those ingredients in Twinkies?
We should be concerned, Rachel, because those are not ingredients, by and large, that are in Twinkies that are made in any other country. I want to be clear. Bobby Kennedy's not saying he's going to take the Twinkies away, but we should be starting to ask questions, as 77% of young adults aren't eligible to join the military in the United States due to metabolic health, due to food. We have these things called GRAS standards. No other country has them, where food companies can self-police. You know, that's not conservative. It's not liberal. It just doesn't make sense. We have 10,000 ingredients that aren't allowed in European foods. Even more alarmingly, Rachel, we subsidize this food.
Yeah.
You know, again, Twinkies should exist, but I was just on Amazon right before this show. They're available for SNAP. You can buy them with food stamp dollars right now, Twinkies.
So he brought up a couple points right there. First of all, yeah, I mean, we need to look at the incentive programs for food producing, right? Right now, big food is definitely incentivized to produce things like high fructose corn syrup. Also, you know, these are actually chemicals. They are banned in other countries, and they should be removed from our food here in the United States. They actually are not food ingredients. They are chemicals made from petroleum.
Additionally, Twinkies actually qualify for federally funded school lunch programs. There's no nutrition or sugar limits on federally funded school lunches.
That's a crime as well. Why are they qualified for federally funded school lunches? I mean, the food that we feed our kids is trash. I challenge you right now, go have lunch with your kids at school. You will be disgusted. You will not want them to eat food at their school anymore. It is not healthy. It's almost like they're purposely poisoning our kids.
The last thing I'll mention, the USDA essentially recommends Twinkies for 2-year-olds. The USDA right now, our guidelines, which are very corrupt, say that 10% of a 2-year-old's diet can be added sugar. So by the
10% of a 2-year-old's diet can be added sugar? That's ridiculous. So it's okay to feed a 2-year-old a bunch of pop, Twinkies, cookies, sugared cereals. 10% can be added sugars. It's not natural sugars, it's added sugars.
letter of the nutrition guidelines, we're actually recommending Twinkies to kids. So, as you said, there's a real optimistic vision here. I think the food industry is not fully understanding what President Trump and RFK are saying. They're saying, let's get all stakeholders together. Let's have American food be the most nutritious food in the world.
Amen. Preach it. American food, the most nutritious food in the world. That's what it should be. We should be leading by example. We should be leading the world with our level of nutrition in our food. That should be what we're doing.
And the best food in the world.
So when you talk about how it's actually recommended to 2-year-olds, Twinkies, explain the corruption that happens to get that Twinkie on a list of acceptable foods. Because, by the way, the ingredients, I put that list of ingredients, they're actually chemicals, right?
They're chemical. I don't think it should be called Red 40. It should be called crude oil. That's what Red 40 is. It's crude oil with a couple other molecules.
That's really good.
Well, let me get into this corruption because as Donald Trump and as President Trump and RFK have said, the first step is to get corruption out of the science. So the USDA Nutrition Guidelines Committee, you can't even believe this, but they're able to accept money from food and pharma companies. 19 out of the 20 advisors on that committee accept money from those industries. You can't even make this up, but 30% of President Biden's committee accepted money from GLP-1 makers, from Ozempic.
I mean, this is crazy, the amount of corruption. I mean, 19 of 20 people on this board have accepted money from big food or big pharma. And he's talking about another thing with Ozempic here in a second, where, 30% of the people on that board have actually taken money from the company that is pushing Ozempic. Holy cow. Do you think there's corruption? Of course there is. It's obvious.
From a Danish pharmaceutical company, Novo Nordisk. So you have just innate conflicts of interest that infect the USDA nutrition guidelines, infect our federal school lunch guidelines, infect our SNAP program. So before we talk about any policy whatsoever, let's just reconstitute that nutrition guidelines committee and say you cannot accept money from food or pharma companies if you're going to be making recommendations for our kids.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think that's great. Yeah, get the corruption out of these guideline makers. Get the corruption out of these organizations like the FDA and the NIH. Clean house. Get the corruption out of our medical training so that it's not so focused on pharma and instead maybe focus on more things like healthy food. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I'm learning about all of this corruption when these were trusted organizations. As Americans, we are trusting these organizations to actually have our health in mind, that we trust that they are making decisions for our benefit, but instead they're making decisions for the benefit of these big food corporations and big pharma.
To me. By the way, this week, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to Capitol Hill. They're going to talk about DOGE, this effort, this new agency that's being created to cut down on expenses. What could cut down on government expenses more than getting people healthy? The number one thing we spend money on is healthcare.
Oh my gosh. I think the connection between Maha and Doge is a huge opportunity. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have been tweeting about this actually. The biggest part of our budget and the fastest growing part of our budget is healthcare costs. And that is because we're getting sick. It's not the technicalities of policy. We're the sickest country in the world, and that's what's driving up so much inefficiency. So actually making our healthcare system more efficient, asking how we can spend money more effectively, that's actually asking how we can get healthier. So I think this connection between the Doge effort and Bobby Kennedy's HHS with incredible picks like Jay Bhattacharya, Marty McCary, Jim O'Neill, we can really do a lot. And I can tell you there's close collaboration happening between those two organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about this too. I believe they're going to come in, get rid of the corruption, create guidelines that actually benefit the health of the American people. It's going to reduce chronic illnesses, and that's going to reduce how often Americans are going to visit the doctor. 90% of doctor visits are for chronic illnesses, and a lot of those could be solved just by getting the chemicals out of our food, and definitely going to be a big win. And as Doge comes in and starts cleaning house and making things more efficient, I think that's going to be really synergistic with the MAHA movement. And yeah, it's going to be a great win all around for Americans. We're going to be healthier and we're going to have more money in our pockets.
And Brooke Rollins at Agriculture, which is the other piece of that puzzle. So excited for what we're on the verge of this, as you call it, the golden era, the golden age of health for America. You've been on the forefront of this, and I'm just happy to see your dreams come true, Calley. Let's get it done.
Well, Rachel, you've been talking about it for a long time, and we are on the verge of a golden age here.
Awesome. Thanks, Calley. Come back.
Thank you.
I like that idea, the golden age of healthy food in America. I think that's a really great idea. I think this leader for the Twinkies company is way off base. The only thing he's talking about is, oh, maybe we can reduce some of the sugar in our recipe. No. You got to get rid of the chemicals out of your recipe. You got to provide the U.S. market with the same product that you are providing in Canada and in Europe. You know, stop feeding the Americans poison and feed us, you know, at least give us the option to not eat your poison. If we want to eat a Twinkie, at least it doesn't have the poison in it. It just has maybe some natural food colorings in it, you know, instead of the chemical food colorings that are made from things like coal tar and oil. I really like the way he said the golden age of healthy food. I'm excited about that. I really think it's going to happen. I'm really hopeful that RFK Jr. and the other leaders that have been selected by Trump for the FDA and the NIH can come in, get rid of the corruption, clean house, set some guidelines that are going to provide a healthy food environment for Americans, and so that these companies have to get rid of the chemicals out of their food and start producing food that is less processed, less chemicalized, less poisoned for the American people. I'm really learning a lot following all of these stories. I hope you're interested in following the Make America Healthy Again agenda. And so every day I'm going to bring you new stories about MAHA. If you want to follow along and learn more like I am every single day, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in some of the other videos, I'm going to go ahead and put a MAHA or Make America Healthy playlist right here. Go ahead and check that out, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks a lot and take care.